All right, we're live. Shalom to the nation, the whole full elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, we're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashim,
Bahashim,
Yahushua,
Yahushai,
Hashem,
Yaakov,
Wakadash.
Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles, elders of great millstone who rule well and establish this word in truth and sincerity. All right, and peace and mercy to the whole full elect that are also pushing this word and the sincere one-third that may listen. So, for today's lesson, as you can see the title, it says the plans of the wicked will not prosper. And this lesson was inspired by what happened with the Georgia Guidestones, and which was set up anyways. One of the brothers, I think Ashara, you posted that on the group chat, and when you look at the day that it happened, it was July 6th.
July 6th.
Right, and I think that's the same day as the birthday of what's his name? George Bush, which is turning 76. Right, and you know, these devils, they work with numerology, right, just on the left-hand side. And yeah, so we're gonna go into the 10 commandments that they have there on the Georgia Guidestone, and just illustrating and showing the plans that the bankers have for their new world order. All right, so this is it says the 10 principles of the Georgia Guidestones, right? It says America's strangest monument, right? And so I'll just go right to the point, right? The 10 commandments inscribed there are as follows: maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. And there's about 8 billion people on this planet right now.
Yeah, so he says, yeah.
Yeah, so he says. So that's 7.5 billion people that they want eradicated and gone. Right? And the scriptures talk about this man being what's the harbinger of death. Right? That's his MO. His motive is death and not life. Right? And I'm gonna get that precept to start off. Harbinger. Slacker. Right. This is 1 Corinthians. Oh no, Slacker escaped me here.
I've got something. If you bring something up.
Yeah, go ahead, bring it up, brother.
Okay, so this is Job 20:23, and it reads, "When he's about to fill his belly," because you mentioned about 7.5 billion people dying off, so there's something that they've counseled, right? It's an evil thought, right? That they've counseled about, right? And then they want to bring this to fruition. So our Lord and our Savior, who's the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, and the Son is Yahushai, they have their own council with the angels. So this is a prophecy, right, concerning our enemies, mainly the so-called white men, east of the damn devil. Job 23, when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh, Yahushai, shall cast fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. Right? So basically, the eating is basically like their plan. What's going on in their mind? So they're thinking that this is gonna be something to devastate the world, to destructure the world. Because this man's about destruction, right? So that's, even though we don't know who did it, but we know the Father's in control of everything. So whatever happened to that Georgia no guide stone, right? Is of the Lord, right?
Right.
Found the precept?
No, I didn't find it, but I'm gonna go on to the second so-called commandment here. More willing it comes to me. So the second commandment on the Georgia Guidestone here, it says, guide reproduction wisely. And it says improving fitness and diversity. And that's why they had parent planhood.
Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood.
Parent plan.
Yeah,
Planned Parenthood.
Whatever.
One of the brothers in Dallas, he said when he was in high school, they had one in his school.
Oh shit!
He went to a Jake school, you know.
Okay, con. And
in
go
Jamaica,
ahead.
there's a thing. It's not called that, but it's the same thing. It's called Pearl Contraceptives, and the slogan is "Two is better than too many." That's the jingle, right?
Con. Right? It
It's
says
like that thing India does in China. One child policy, because they're communists, right? Which communism comes from who? It comes from Esau.
It comes from Esau. That's right.
It comes from Karl Marx, right?
Con. I got a precept actually. I didn't find the other one, but I got this one. This is Psalms 21:11, and it says, "For they intended evil against thee. They imagine a mischievous device which they are not able to perform." And ultimately, that device is going to be the Charagma, right? And they want to, and through that Charagma, the so-called New World Order, right? But the scriptures say that this mischievous device that they have, and when you go into the word device, it actually translates into the word desire. So this is a desire of theirs, which they shall not be able to perform, because the prophecy is that the kingdom of Israel will be established. When you see 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, the 9th verse, right? Esau is the beginning of the end of the world, and Jacob, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of there that followeth after, right? That was it on that precept.
So one of the vice that they're desperately seeking, right, is to mainly get rid of the children of Israel, because Jacob is set up to be the ruler of the world to come. So the Lord gave them a like a wager. You know what? If you can get rid of these people, I'll give this over to you, man.
Right.
But it's not. The Lord knows it can't be. It's not possible, right? And that's why Jeremiah, right? It was spoken by the prophet Jeremiah in Jeremiah 31. I read 35. And it says, "Thus saith the Lord, who is Yahweh, through his son Yahweh Shai, who we worship, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divide the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, says Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever." And that forever is like a carrot being dangled in front of the white man's face, man. He's chasing, because that's what he wants. Like, more than anything in this world, he'd love for that to happen. That's why he want to blow the moon, because in the next paragraph it says, if you can move the sun and the depth of the sea. So he's setting all his machine, his contraption is to measure the earth, the depth of the sea, right? That's a lust of his, right? Verse 37, the last verse. "Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, says Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai." So this is a diligent search. The so-called white man is aimlessly like scratching tooth and nails, right, to get this done. But it's impossible, man. Right?
I got this to back you up. This is Psalms 10:2. It says, "The wicked in his pride," because Esau's prideful. He thinks he's going to be able to make do on that bet that the Most High said. Right? It says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor." That's the nation of Israel. And it says, "Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." And that's heavy, because they imagine to get rid of us completely, And when you look at prophecy, that's actually what's going to happen to them in the kingdom. You know, we're going to get rid of, you know, the so-called white man after he served his 1,000 years of slavery. Okay, and that's why the scriptures always refer to Esau's pride has deceived him. So this man knows his truth and he knows the scriptures, but yet, you know, he pushes forward to try to upset the prophecies. Right?
Actually,
Go ahead.
they have a breakdown. They have their breakdown of what they're saying, and in regards to their interpretation of these laws, right? So, simply put, they have it here: promoting environmentalism. Right? When you go into those words, I didn't go into the word environment. Anytime the word has ism at the end, we know that it's not good. But that's the general term that they're using. Okay, promoting environmentalism. I hate that word. Right, but that's basically what they're saying in essence.
Hey, was that it, Amath?
Yeah.
Khan, I had something. This is Psalms 36:3.
Yeah.
It says, the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. It says, he hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. Right? And I basically brought that out because you brothers are going into Esau creating or devising things. And when you look up that word technology, because that's a miracle of the beast that Esau bamboozles people with. And when you look up technology, basically means a craft, right? So the scriptures say in Daniel 8, he shall cause craft to prosper, right? So basically it's deceitfulness, because even though these things are, we see each other now, we can do the lesson, this thing's actually giving us radiation, you know, and there's a bunch of other things, right? But this devil, he's doing a thing, or he did it, called CERN, right? You brothers heard about that? The CERN.
Right?
So basically, the premise of it, what they claim it is they're trying to figure out the origin of the universe, right? But on a deeper note, there's people saying that they're trying to mess with the spiritual realm. They're trying to open portals. But basically, what they're doing is this is allegedly, someone said that they're spinning, they're creating an energetic spin one way, and then another one clockwise, one counterclockwise, and then until it collides, and then they want to see what's going to happen, what kind of particles come out, and all kinds of madness.
Right.
You know, so. And that happened, I think, the Georgia Guidestones, they fell, I think, the night after they did that experiment.
Oh, look at that.
I believe they spent, $10 billion on this device to discover dark matter. I don't like the scriptures say the simple believe every word, but the prudent man look who else was going. It doesn't make any sense. There's gotta be something more to it. Like what brings to mind is the movie Spider-Man with Dr. Was it Octopus?
Right.
Where he had a huge. I think that device was to open up a portal, a door. Is that right?
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, in that movie. Yeah.
It's our playing reality, so they're just giving us, clues on what they're doing as part of the witchcraft that they put.
I'll bring it closer to home. Where I used to work at FedEx, they have a system called the THAW system. Okay, and it operates exactly like how the elder says it. Okay, so you have one, the machine is going this way, and the other part of the machine is going the other way. So the thing is, what I'm trying to simply say is this, right? Now it's on a higher level of sorcery, all right? Because this man really believes, right? He believes that he has no bounds, okay?
Right.
But
well,
Joe
remember last year, Bill Gates, he was supposed to do an experiment where they were supposed to black out the sun or something in August.
Yeah.
Right? So they never spoke about what happened.
Right.
Right. Last point. This thing is always breaking down, brother. When I was there, okay. it runs the sort to sort out the packages. Okay, it's always breaking down. Just thought I'd mention that, but it's called the THAW system. THAW. THAW.
I got certain definition because it's not even an English word. It's an acronym. So it says CERN, Council Européen pour la Recherche Nucléaire. So nobody's French here, so
Research.
is the original name of the European Organization for Nuclear Research, which runs the particle accelerator complex that houses the LHC, the world's largest and most complex collider. So in other words, it's a collider. They want to bang the
particles together,
and try to reenact what they call a Big Bang, right? The LHC reignited after 3 years in April, was cranked up to unprecedented levels on energy on July 5th, and has begun smashing together protons at almost the speed of light. New, quote unquote, physics beyond the standard model. So,
thank you.
You know, just imagine what garbage is these guys are doing. About to expose them that what they're doing is not right.
Right?
It's just wickedness.
And that's only 1% that he's showing you what he does.
Done.
Yeah. The third commandment here, it says unite humanity with a living new language, right? And then it says rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with temperate reason. And that reminds me of that precept. The knowledge of the wisdom of the wicked is not right. It's not wisdom.
Yeah,
right?
The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
Wisdom, thought. The knowledge of wickedness.
And that goes back to Nimrod. That's all that goes back to. Because it sounds good, you know, like you grow up in school and it's all one and.
Yeah.
But the Lord is a separatist, man.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Their interpretation for that law, number 3, is simply put, establishing a one world government, one world economy, and one world
just like
religion.
Genesis 11, right?
Yeah.
That's what the breakdown is. They're telling us this is what this is what they're saying. And when you go to the scriptures also, that's Revelation 13, 15 to 17. Establishing a one world government, one world economy, and one world religion. And they put here, led by the Antichrist, the dead Pope John Paul II. I'm just telling you the breakdown that they have here for this one world insight. For number 3. So in short, what is their new language, right?
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to say too much. Right? It's clear. As a matter of fact, that's what it actually is. Go ahead.
Okay, Con.
Okay, so chapter 5, started 3. I have seen the foolish taken root, but suddenly I cursed his habitation. His children are far from safety, and they are crushed in the gate. Neither is there any to deliver them, because the only deliverance is of the Israelites, man. Right? They have no redeemer, right? The Edomites are just made to what? Be the sword of the Most High, right? To be the whipping stick of all the nations, but mainly to us, because we're all that matters to the Most High. You know, we're the apple of his eyes, according to scriptures. So jumping to 12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, and Esau is a crafty man. So talking about in God we trust, right? He likes to word God around and love, but a simple-minded peon would think he's referring to the Heavenly Father. But the Heavenly Father doesn't call them his children,
Yeah.
right? They're the children on the left-hand side, right? So they're basically like in layman's terms, the redheaded kid, man. Literally the redheaded kid, right? So that their hands cannot perform their enterprises. So whatever their plan is, it's basically in vain.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not written that way for them to be of any more leadership than they're supposed to. Every nation is given a time to rule, and their time is up.
God.
And you can prove that by 2nd Ezra 6 and 8. It tells that Esau is the end of the world.
Yeah.
You get all the other nations mustering up, saying, "Yeah, we got this." But Lord, they say, "Nah, you don't got nothing, man. Go read the scriptures."
Yeah.
Right? But they don't read the Bible to understand what it's saying, because it was given them. They can't get it anyways. They read it to know who we are and how to get rid of us, right? And how to keep us sinning, because as long as they keep us sinning, like the Ammonite says in Judith 5, right? Saying them sinning,
Right.
You can attack them, but
Right.
But if they serve their Lord, leave them alone.
You can't do nothing against them.
Fight for them.
Yeah.
The last verse 13 of Job 5, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And you just said earlier that wisdom to do wickedness is not wisdom, something like that.
Right.
So he taketh the wise, and the wise is referring to those other nations, mainly Esau, the so-called white men. And the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. So it's going to be, it won't materialize to anything good, right? Good meaning bad, right? Because everything this man does is bad, even though he thinks it's good.
Right. I got this is Psalms 35, and let not them that are my enemies wrongfully rejoice. Okay, I'll start at 19. It says Psalms 35 and 19. Let not them that are my enemies wrongfully rejoice over me. Neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause. Right, and that's primarily Esau and the other nations, right? But Israel, primarily the elect of the nation of Israel, are the underdogs of this movie. The people that the majority of the world doesn't expect to come up and rise. That's why the scriptures say the strangeness of their salvation. These are the people that you never would have thought of that had anything to do with serving the Lord, right? But it goes on to say, verse 20, for they speak not peace, but they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land.
So brother, like just imagine when Edom first came here and saw our brother Gad. Gad had the scriptures programmed into him, and like say Esau's talking to us now. We know that scripture reading right now. And they speak not peace. You're looking at him like, keep talking, and he's talking, and yeah, all right, motherfucker. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you keep in mind that the Lord deals with you, you put you in game. Because God wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. The Spirit wasn't working with them, right? So that's why Esau got to handle, got to get ahead of them.
Right.
But now through the Holy Spirit and their eyes have been opened up, we know never trust thine enemy.
Right? That's the Spirit.
And we know our enemy is not the guy upstairs, on the 7th floor that owes you $20. And he's dodging you, Hey, man, I gotta say, I'm punching the head. That's soft, right?
God. Verse 21, it says, yea, they opened their mouth wide against me and said, aha, our eyes have seen it. And that's funny because that goes back to what you were saying. They want to keep Israel sinning, right? So that because in the hopes that the Heavenly Father doesn't save us, doesn't deal with us, because they know, going back to the ancient time, every time we went off, that's when we were vulnerable. When we don't serve the Lord, we're vulnerable. When we serve the Lord, He can't touch us, right? But that's why the remnant are hidden in secret, right? Because the scriptures say that if it wasn't for the remnant, if the Lord didn't leave us the remnant, we would actually have been destroyed completely, like Sodom and Gomorrah. And then it goes on to say, verse 22, this thou hast seen, O Lord Yahweh, keep not silence, O Lord, be not far from me. And it's the men out here in the four corners of the earth that are prophesying against this wicked kingdom have these elites really, not scrambling, but kind of anxious, right? Because they're trying to figure out, how did we get this truth? How do we? That's why the scriptures say, make him naked, right? Uncover his skirt, and that's being done through the prophets, right? So they're caught off guard with the men of the Lord breaking down these prophecies and bringing out his wickedness, right? Because they already knew this. Verse 24, it says, judge me, O Lord Yahweh, my power, according to thy righteousness, and let them not rejoice over me. And there's another priesthood that says that they thought that they did the Lord justice, or they did him good by killing his prophets, right? And it says, let them not say in their hearts, so would we have it. Let them not say, we have swallowed him up. Let them be ashamed and brought to confusion, together to rejoice at mine hurt. And let them be clothed with shame and dishonor that magnify themselves against me. Right? And we know that the nations, the Lord is going to cause these nations to fight among each other. Because if you brothers been keeping up with the river Euphrates, it's been dry. It's almost dried up. You look at it from 2000, I think it was 10 years now. So 2012 to 2022, it's like the water is shrunk completely. So the Lord is already preparing that way of the Euphrates for the kings to get through. And Russia, I think, is building a bridge over the river Euphrates to cross over. Right?
Yeah, I remember hearing it was drying from like 2007, 8.
Yeah.
Okay, Khan, even further back, Khan.
Yeah.
It says, verse 26, let them be ashamed and brought to confusion together that rejoice at my hurt. Let them be clothed with shame and dishonor that magnify themselves against me. Let them shout for joy and be glad that favor my righteous cause. Yea, let them say continually, let the Lord Yahweh be magnified, which hath pleasure in the prosperity of his servants. And my tongue shall speak of righteousness and of thy praise all the day long. And that's why the men of the Lord are, what would you call them, a menace or a nuisance to this society, right? And ultimately, that's why they want to get rid of the men of the Lord. That was it on that precept.
So the last precept you just read, yay. Read that last precept again. The last you left off. Khan. Because basically that would be the righteous men saying, yeah, let that happen. Because it's talking about two different segment of people there. Like one is a curse, and one saying, yeah, let this happen, right? So
the last verse.
Yeah, the last verse.
Psalms 35 and 28. And my tongue shall speak of thy righteousness.
Khan, which is what we're doing. So we're glorifying the Lord. We're heralding the Son's name. The Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Tahar, says this year is the year of Yahweh's turn up. It's always about heralding the Lord's coming, man, to do away with this wicked kingdom, right? So it's always a righteous man. I'm saying, hopefully, righteous thing happens on this earth, right? So in Job, right, to add to that, Job 18 and verse 5, this is the Lord answering. The Lord said, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. So this is also a command, right? And a prophecy. So the Lord said, all right, I hear you. It's going to be put out, right?
Yeah, well, that's that. Who's that? That's the Illuminati.
God.
The enlightened ones.
You see? Right? So it's going to be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Verse 6, the light shall be dark in his tabernacle. So the tabernacle is refers to a house. So everyone, that they're consulting with, all the Edomites, right? They have no answers, right? They're like, man, everything we do is just falling, it's going the opposite way, man, because the Lord has made a decree, a rallying cry, and saying, yo, Israel, we got you, right? And we're waiting on the Lord, all right? And his candle shall be put out with him, right? So the elder says the Illuminati, because they claim that they have the light. They got the know-how, and they have how things work. But at one point, the Lord was dealing with them, because the Lord says Babylon was a golden cup in the Lord's hand.
Right.
But guess what? The Lord is saying, I'm done with this cup, man. You know what I mean? And they're teeter and totter and say, what do we do now? Right? The Lord is dealing with us. They're going to go into witchcraft and sorcery, right? And start asking demons what to do. And the elder said earlier on about that machine, acronym CERN, they're saying that has something to do with that, right? Verse 7, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. So whatever it is he's planning is like you go into a store, you got a gun, thinking that I'm gonna go in there and rob this place, whatever, and somebody disarm you and point a gun at you now. You're like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go through all this, I'm gonna do this, do that, and now you're hey man, please don't shoot me. Don't shoot.
Yeah.
Begging for your life. Right? So this Lord's gonna have this man begging. That's why in Isaiah 14 says, have you come in like us? You're down like this, like you're this great big power, and man, get out of here, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
where we're at, right? And it's a beautiful thing to be here in 2022 and see this place falling, man. Right? Going to nothing. Right? You're watching it. You know what I mean? Having these meats. You know what I mean? In sackcloth. Like look at us. I mean, the princes of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Looking like bumps, man. While this damn cave dog is glorifying him, doing all this stuff. But it's all right. It says here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
Yeah.
Right? Patience goes into suffering. So we got to suffer. We know that. But we're good with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Con.
That was it on that act?
Come.
All right. I got this Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 12, I'll say. I'll start at 12. It says,
start at 1 and go to 12. So
Okay, Khan. Chapter 2, verse 1, it says, for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, right? But not all right.
These are these counsels that they have, right?
Yeah.
God.
These what do you hold on, brother? What do you think they do in the Bohemian Grove? Right? The Bilderberg Trilateral Commission, all these different things.
That's right. And it goes on to say, for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not all right. Our life is short and tedious. And in the death of a man, there is no remedy. And that's how you know Esau's carnal as hell, man, because there is remedy. Job told us about that. He said that the wicked cease from trouble. Right? And it says, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Yeah, so they want that eternal life. So that's why one of their other programs is transhumanism.
Right.
Basically using different vessels,
Yeah.
But having that stored consciousness.
There was a show based upon that. I think it was Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon, yeah.
Yeah, they had the different vessels, and the spirit was just transferring each vessel. So jumping down to verse 12, it says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. And that's because, the righteous, being the remnant, they understand who their enemy is. The rest of Israel is for Esau's turn, because they don't know that Esau's or they reject the fact that Esau is their enemy, right? And it says, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy the transgressings of our education. He professeth to have the knowledge of God, and he called himself the child of the Lord. Right.
Hey, so basically, brother, that you know what that goes into? The Esau's whole way is anti the Most High.
God.
You know, that's why you had a famous Edomite called Antipater, which means anti-father. Right. So that's why Esau claims, even when he claims he has the scriptures, like I remember Apostle Tahari did a video. He's like, there's no raids on a dude that just committed adultery, Oh, we got this guy committed adultery. Let's go raid him, Nobody gives a shit, right?
Yeah,
but guess what? That's a serious law.
Right.
Epstein
and guess what? You have what do they call it? When the dude kills the woman, it's called a passion or
crime of passion.
Yeah.
Legal.
Or they get off with mentally insane. One of the two. Remember Blade Runner? But yeah, you're right there, brother. Hey, listen, we're still on that third law, man. That's what it's going into. He's trying to get us to suck down that new language of his.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But nobody raid Epstein Island, right? Okay. Okay.
It goes on, verse 13. It says, he professeth to have the knowledge of Yahweh, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord.
Lord help.
Right. Which, completely exposes them, because they were calling themselves the children of the Lord.
And that goes into iconoclasm.
Right.
Where they paint their own images.
Right.
Yeah.
Verse 14, it says, he was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. So this man has so much hate, he can't even look at us. He can't stand to look at us, man. Right? And it says, it says, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. Because
when we see them, we say Atal Lahudi, right? We say, You're not a Jew, man. You're counterfeits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this shows us a live document, man. Right? This happens today. Like, we don't go out of our way to say so, because when they say they're Jewish, we say, no, you're right, you're Jewish, right? But Lord deal with Jewish people. Lord deal with either you're Jew, which is a byword, because you're calling Benjamin a Jew, and you're calling Levi a Jew, right? They all have their own name, but we understand when you say you're a Jew, we understand what it means. But there's 12 different nations within the nation, right?
Okay. I got the word counterfeit real quick in etymology. It says pretend to be, right? It says imitate from contrary, which means against, right? And then the word for fit is fare, and it says to make, right? To do, to make, to do. So to make against, to do against, assume, simulate, It goes to make a copy of, and that's why they wear the locks on the side and they dress in all black to try to be fit. Jeremiah the 14th, Jeremiah the 14th chapter.
Right.
Judah's black onto the ground. They wear all black. They
It's
try
so
to
carnal, man.
Yeah, it's so carnal, man. You can't. It's not for you, and you're trying to put yourself in it, right? Setting in opposition or contrast. So going back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and 14, it says, "He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. For his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that Yahweh is his father." Right? And that goes into us talking about what? That some of us will die for this truth. Right? And that the fact that even though Esau is going to kill some of the men of the Lord, right? Those men are going to be risen up first with Yahushua when Yahushua comes here, man. Right? And then it says in verse 17, verse 17, "Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him." So that's that pride again. So we just went through how many verses of him knowing exactly what we're created to do, how we're set up to come up against him, how we have laws and understanding that's contrary to him. And his reply to all that understanding is, well, let's see what happened. Let's see if these guys really are who they say they are. Right? And then verse 18, "For if the just man be the son of God, the son of Yahweh, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies." That's going
into Yahushua right there. When they're the devil was tempting him and said, if you're a son of God,
right.
Like I think when hit your feet, like you won't hit your feet. And then that scripture.
Yeah, if you jump off the cliff, the angels will stop you from hitting the ground. Roughly paraphrasing. Yeah.
And that was fulfilling, I think, Psalms 91:11, where King David was speaking in the spirit. It says, for 1 second, I don't want to butcher it.
No, go ahead. You can pick it up.
Yeah, it's Psalms 91:11. It says,
1,000.
"For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you should dash your foot against a stone." Right? So this is what they're saying over here in Wisdom of Solomon, right? But it's also applied to us because we are also the sons of God. We're hoping that we are the sons of the Heavenly Father. We're those men. Right?
Yeah, and that's how you know they serve Esau or they serve Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, because they're saying the same thing he said to our Lord, to us. Okay, so going back, it says, "Let us," verse 19, "let us examine him with deceitfulness."
Despiteful.
Yeah, despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience.
You had a bunch of things like the crack epidemic, which was a thing that Esau orchestrated, and then a bunch of other things, man, with weapons and ideologies and influence, stupid shit like BET. The whole so-called Black and Latino culture. That's a thing that Esau pushes,
Right. It says, "Let us condemn him with a shameful death. For by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine. And when you go into the word respect, it just means to look back. So, when we make these videos and these lessons, they're gonna try to use our words against us. But these are not even our words. These are the words of the Heavenly Father through his Son. Right? And it says that such things, verse 20, let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine and were deceived. And that's what the whole Georgia Guidestone is about, man. It's really showing you, the people right to their face, the MO of the bankers, right? These elites, what they want to do and how they want to do it. And it says, such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness has blinded them. As for the mysteries of Yahweh, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For Yahweh created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that hold of his side do find it, man. Right? And 2/3 of Israel are going to hold on the side of Esau.
And then when it says Esau, or they didn't know the mystery, right? That goes into like Lazarus and the rich man, right? Where when the rich man was catching hell, he's like, "Hold on, can I go warn? Can I go warn the rest?" Because Esau's not gonna. He's too high up, right?
Yeah. That was it on that. I'm gonna go back to the commandments here in the Georgia Guidestone. So, so-called commandment 3, it says, unite humanity with a living new language. And we went through that already. Commandment
Number 4. Yeah.
Right. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Right. And we already read in the first verse of the 2nd chapter that they're reasoning with themselves, right, as to what their plans are going to be and how they're going to control and orchestrate everything, right? And you know what? That's a part of them reasoning, ruling passion and faith and tradition, right? They're changing everything now. Like when you go into, I think they're trying to abolish slavery as a teaching thing in the schools. They were doing that a couple months back. I think there was a state where if you were a teacher to teach about slavery, you can actually get fined. Or something like that, roughly paraphrase. You can get fined, or the parent of the child, actually, the parent can fine the teacher or the school. There's a certain law that it came up under. I'll try to look it up. But they're trying to change the traditions and the history, and they're even trying to abolish history, because that's a part of their shame.
Yeah, for every change, right, that they talk about, it's really about promoting their agenda. With its 4th law is promoting new spirituality. Now, New Age movement, religion, these things, right? Anything but the scriptures. Anything but the scriptures that come from the KJV, right? Real quick, so this 4th law goes into their promotion while they're taking stuff down, right? And this psyop here that we're watching with this thing going down, right? They're trying to tell us that that doesn't exist, but it's exactly how it's playing out, because it has already started. Now, the New Age, when I was growing up, there was no new spirituality stuff, but around the 80s it came with this New Age movement, right? Hinduism and all that stuff started to blow up on this side of the world, right? And the scriptures were going down in terms of, I'm talking about Bible belief, right? So for everything that they take down, they put up one of these things. right?
Con.
But it had nothing to do with this truth. And as was brought out earlier, if it wasn't for the Lord promoting the prophets and bound this devil, right? Hey, we would have been like Sodom
That's
and,
right.
and Gomorrah, right? But that you have to step in. So yes, as they take shit down, they're promoting, right? And we know about unrighteous decrees because that goes into it with this fourth law.
Yeah,
Okay,
Con.
just thought I'd mention that.
Con. I got a precept for the
Yeah.
fourth law here. It says, our fifth law, it says, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts, right? And this man has nothing to do with balance, all right? Yahweh Shai told us that if the Most High didn't speed up the times, Esau would have did away with all flesh. So this man has no understanding of balance or just courts or whatnot, right? Now this precept here, this is Psalms 94 and 20.
Yeah, it just seems fair. It seems civil. You have civil, especially here in Canada, you can sue anybody for any fucking thing, man.
Con.
And it necessarily might not go through, but it's a pain in the ass, man.
Right.
You know, but it seems civil. You know, like
Right.
oh, we're civil, and it's a corrupt system. You know,
Corrupt
Right.
system, new language. New.
Con. This is Psalms 94 and 20. It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law, which is what you just broke down. You know, it seems civil, right, and it seems harmless, but it's and on the contrary, it actually just establishes confusion. Like you said, you can get sued for anything, but they're not going to run a raid like a raid on someone who's committing adultery, right? It says, verse 21, they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous.
Interesting, Salaki. It's interesting. I have to note when you mention the scripture says it's framed, right? A framer is a carpenter, right? Or laborer, right? And they deem themselves as what? Masons, builders. So the scripture says they frame, and then remember you have that word. Oh, he got framed. Right. So it's all about deceit, man. This new speak English.
Right, con. And it goes on to say, verse 20, verse 21, they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord Yahweh is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity. Right, and that's why Revelation, a part of their iniquity in Revelation 18, it says, do unto her double. Right, so slavery is going to be a part of their iniquity that's going to be turned on their own head. They're going to go into slavery, right? And it's going to be hardcore slavery, okay? And it says, verse 23, and he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord Yahweh, our power, shall cut them off.
So this man is there making nuclear missiles, right, to drop on nations, because he didn't think those same missiles that he's making is going to be dropped on him, right? So that's the iniquity that they're framing, right? Thinking everything is all going to be, he's going to all be the upside, and everybody, all the nations will be downside, mainly us, right? So again, Job chapter 18 and verse 15, it says, it shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is not of his. Brimstones shall be scattered upon his habitation, right? And we know his habitation is mainly here in the west, Babylon, man. Right? It's called Mystery Babylon, but as we're ordained to do, is to unveil this mystery, right? To reveal. Okay, so the brimstones, right, is a buzzword, if you will, for ICBM missiles, man. Right? verse 16, his roots shall be dried up beneath. Right? And we know the roots is his offspring, man. Like they get a family tree, his heritage, right? It'll be dried up, man. Like bone dust. I forgot one of those YouTubers always saying bone dust. So his bones will turn to dust, right?
Yep.
Above,
That's right.
and above shall his branch be cut off. So even the elites, right, those ones who escape, you know, this the brimstones, they'll be the first one to be going in slavery, man. All right, so they're just preserving himself for work.
Right.
Lots of work, man. If the employment is down, that won't be a problem in our kingdom, man.
Scripture say continual employment.
God.
There's gonna be a lot of overtime.
Not overtime.
Non-stop overtime. Huh.
You'll be praying for the Sabbath. You see here, they just honor the Sabbath. In our kingdom, you'll be praying for the Sabbath. Right? Verse 17, his remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the streets. And that you can prove that, you go to Obadiah 18, right? When the Lord said he's going to leave root or branch, and Jacob will be a fire, and there'll be a stubble.
Right.
So the Lord, like he's mad, it says, at the wicked every day, man. Every day. And it's burning in the Lord's heart to have this vengeance, right? Yahushua can't wait. I wait here like, you know, man, when the Lord's coming, the Lord's like, Father, when can I go, man? You know, chill, man. You know, I'm man of word. Right?
Exactly. He's a man of his word. He's bound by his word. That's right.
But Yahushua is like us. Yahushua, is like a death angel, right? He want to bring that smoke, right? Right? But the Father's like, you know, everything has to be a certain, a certain time.
That's right.
Verse 19, he shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwelling. Right? So the Lord is telling you, like, no need to break nothing down. Just read it as it is, because now we know who the wicked is. And Lord is saying, root our branch, man. Right? So this is what the wicked, Esau, the devil, so-called white man, has to look forward to, man. Just think of the worst bug. Like, you know, people say, I hate bugs. Think of the worst bug you can't stand. That bug has more precedence, right? After everything's done, you walk around anyway, walking around like a bug. You know what I mean? But don't stop, right? This is top villain, right? The king of the earth. In a while, to be gone, man. They're gonna be like a ghost stories, man. Hey, man, Edomites telling your kids, you go to bed before Edomite get you. You can run to bed. So like, that's it.
Edomite get you.
God, I got two precepts here. This is Psalms 37:7. It says, "Rest in the Lord Yahweh, and wait patiently for Him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way."
Yeah, it gets hard, man, because patience means to suffer, right?
Yeah.
To wait, to suffer. So you gotta watch these devils prosper and enjoy the best of the best, man. But you know, that's where it says, "Envy not the glory of a sinner."
Right.
You know.
Go on. It goes on to say, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Right? Another one, Isaiah 47:10. "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me." Right? And that's why, it's it's like we're a menace, man. This thing is us knowing this truth, beginning with the apostles and elders on down, right? It's a real it's really confounding to these bankers, man, because they really think that they're in secret. They thought they were in secret the whole time. And they thought that the Most High was all together like them. Like he's not going to reveal their secrets, right? But here we are on the street corners prophesying the downfall of their wicked kingdom, bringing out their history, who they really are, what they got to look forward to, right? And it goes on to say, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee.
Yep.
And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Right? So, Esau, that's just talking about Esau's pride, man. And that's what the Most High said too.
He's saying he's the Most High and none beside. Because the Lord said that there's no God that can save from my hand. So he's saying he's God. He's the Most High.
Right.
Yeah, like you got the Rothschilds. You know that they got friggin' animals and insects named after them.
I think it was really sweet, right?
You have mammals, insects, and flowers that are named after them. So they think, and remember, who named all the animals? It was Adam.
Right.
So Esau took it on himself to name all these animals in the Latin, and all the botanicals, all the herbs and the flowers and all that in Latin. Right. We don't know the true names. We got to get that too in the kingdom.
God. Hey, Malak, you still have you have a breakdown on these rules, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have it in front of you?
Yep.
Okay, you want to read that then? I think we're on the sixth law.
The sixth one. Okay. 1 second. Let me just pull the screen up. Yeah. So the sixth one, actually, it says number 6. Or actually, they break it down this way. Number 5, protect the people and nations with fair laws, which we went over and cut. Number 6 is let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court, right? And it's interesting from the Unite Humanity business, the new language, which goes into their New World Order, right? As you go down these laws of these Georgia Guidestone laws, it encompasses, number 3 encompasses all of these other things, right? Because you can see it. You can see it. Well, the men of the Lord can see it, right? So my point is simply this, right? I believe this. What the reason why that thing is coming down, of course, it's allowed by the Lord, but he's trying to hide and tell you that none of this is really happening, but it's happening as we speak. This bullshit. So it says, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court, right? That one, hey, I'm going to leave that one alone, but he's saying that that's going to be no more. That's what I'm thinking, but it's happening as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, really though, can you travel and go anywhere? If you look at it this way, right? You can travel, but hey, you're gonna have a problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're saying, hey, if you want to travel into this country, Canada, you got to be juiced up. So you got a lot of people coming from the States, because they want to get, they want to kill off their offspring. But if you're really just transferring from one evil to the other, because the kings of this country and the king of America are both devils anyways.
Yep.
I got a precept. This is Ecclesiastes 8, and I'll start at 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Right? And that's Esau Edom, because the scriptures talk about the virgin daughter Babylon. America hasn't seen any war. Right? So they're prideful, and because judgment hasn't been executed speedily to these bankers, the elites, it's in their mind fully set to do what they want to do. But really what the Lord is doing, he's trolling them. There's a term called trolling, right? You get someone excited, get them excited ahead of themselves, and you kind of catch them in a trap. That's what the Lord is doing with Esau, right? Verse 12, it says, though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet
Yeah, because
surely
America's stretched thin, man. America
right.
got, its hands in Taiwan. It wants to fight, China. It's trying to fight Russia.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, take everybody on at once. It says, verse 12, though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with the wicked. It shall be well with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh. So, and that's the Most High is the one who gives everlasting life, man. Right? So, these devils, man, and we read this in the Wisdom of Solomon, 2nd chapter, right? They said that they know that their lives are short and tedious. You know? So, there's a vanity to just men who opened according to the work wicked. Yeah, I'll read this one. Verse 14, it says, there is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be just men unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous, which is what we're doing. We're by prophesying this prophesying and speaking the prophecies, we're exposing this devil, right? And we're bringing down his kingdom, because the Lord said that his words should not go out void, or not come back void, right?
Yeah, we're breaking strongholds.
We're breaking strongholds, Khan.
Right? All these different philosophies and ideas that these people have, right?
Mm-hmm. Khan.
But at the same time, we're making ourselves a prey.
Khan. Yeah. True. It goes on to say, to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. I said that this is also vanity. That's it on that. You want to finish up those laws, Malak?
Real quick. Yeah, number 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. That's number 7, right? Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Okay, that's what they're claiming. And number 8, balance personal rights with social duties.
Yeah, it's just slavery. Yeah, Khan.
Right. They brought in Black Lives Matter, right? The reason why I brought up that real quick, let me just go back to number 6. The reason why I brought up that travel business is just that if you were to go to another country, right, there's no world court to protect you, but somehow they talk about a world court to bring these same people who make these laws to justice, but it can't happen, right? I'm just saying that the Pope is coming here. I mean, they want to bring this guy to a world court, But anyway, that's what I wanted to say on that. Number 9, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite.
With the infinite or infinite, it says.
Yeah, infinite.
Infinite.
INFINITE. Now, hey,
they're talking about the spiritual demon Satan. They don't know that he serves the Most High.
Well, ultimately, yeah. And then if you go back up to this law here, the one that you brothers read, number 2, you unite humanity with a living new language, and then number 2, number 2, that's the one, guide reproduction wisely and improving fitness and diversity, right? That links perfectly with this one here, and you brothers know what I want to say, but I don't want to say it, right? Because it goes into I believe it goes into his MOTB, right? And who's bringing it, right?
Right.
You know, the heritage of oppressor. Okay, real quick. Let me just get to the other one. The number 10, it says, for number 10, be not a cancer. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. That's the last part.
Wants to switch it up.
I can read that again, brother. Be not a cancer.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
He's a cancer himself.
Right?
That long disease. That's right.
I'll read it again for the record. Be number
How
10.
ironic.
Yeah, God.
All right. I read it. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature.
He's a bag of
Yeah.
Leave
What the hell you talking
room
Yeah,
for
but
nature.
he's cutting
Twice
down.
quoted.
Right, he's cutting down the rainforest, cutting down these trees. And he's talking about leave room for
Ruler
nature.
of the earth.
And then he's making alternative meat. He's killing the animals. He's poisoning the air. And he's talking about leave room for nature. That's why the scriptures say, "Never trust thy enemy." All right, and even though he speaks peace. He speaks of peace. Is really he's devising wickedness.
Well, it says his words were smoother than oil or butter, but war was in his heart.
Right.
This man speaks a good talk, man. Like, no, you ever seen this man at like a seminar? All them unfamiliar words. Hey, man, this
Right.
guy, man, is educated, man. You know.
Right. Right.
Like, if you know him, that his tongue is a forked tongue, right? You believe him, man. Captivated. Like, so this man is a marketer. Like, remember, everything he does is about killing. He's death. He's looking at death, the blue-eyed devil, man. You know.
But he's very appealing.
Exactly right.
He's very appealing.
God. Right?
And the scriptures, remember the scriptures say, when a rich man speaketh,
Khan.
they extol it to the heavens.
Khan.
Well, oh wow.
And then it says, when the poor man speaketh, you know, they say, what fellow is this?
Right.
This unlearned man.
You got a dirty garment on. Your garment's dirty and all this. Your clothes said a lot about you. You know, he goes in. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Listen, I got 3 precepts I need to read. I don't know if we're continuing on, but this is Job, right? Because Rock went into this book, the 20th chapter, right? And those 3 precepts tells us the characteristics in a nutshell. And I remember Brother Amat mentioned about this man believes that, you know, according to scripture, he believes that he is he's a man of the Most High, right? But he doesn't say that he's from the left-hand side. Anyway, the scripture says this. Job, I'll just read these 3 precepts. It's a beautiful chapter to read up. And it goes into, you know, when Job was being chastised by all these people, and namely this Zophar character. It is said, I was told that Zophar might be an Israelite, but there were Edomites that was chastising him. And Job says this. Job 20 and 27, it says that heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. 28.
Yeah, this internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Here you go.
Because how are we speaking as the feed horn that goes up, and then it's got to come back down, right? The signal.
Cloud with no water in it. Verse 28, Job 20, it says the increase of his house shall depart. All right, Brother Kazak went into all of that as well. And his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. Now here's the point, right? So, you know, when Job sit down and read these things, I think he really believes this. It says, this is the portion of a wicked man from our power, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High power. So
that's
his
heritage.
Yeah. So he believes this shit. Right? Hey, by the way, Esau, we believe you too. Okay, we believe you. We
His
believe
heritage
you
is to be destroyed.
that you are the wicked. That's right. And you're a heritage of oppressors. You know, and it's appointed. The Lord appointed him this, right? But he will lie and tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
That he's the man. He's just a man of God. By the way, a man of Father God. That's how he brings it. But that's my point, brothers. On that, he's the heritage. This heritage was appointed to him. He was set up like this to be the wicked.
All right. You want to finish the last two laws on the Georgia Guidestone?
That was it. I read it.
Oh, that was it? That was 10?
Yeah, that was 10. I can read it over again real quick. I'll just get to it. It says for number 9 and 10 for the record. Second, it says prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And then number 10, be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. You quoted twice, but
Con.
what's the point?
I'm going to end off with this precept. This is Wisdom Solomon 2 and 10. It says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations.
Yes.
Which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. Their labor is unfruitful, and their works.
That's in the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. Because the rich man asked, he said, he asked the Lord, he's like, Lord, when did we see you hunger or thirst? Right. And he said, when it was, one of the brothers, the least, he said, that was me. There was I. You didn't give me food or drink, right? So that's what it means. It says neglected the righteous.
Right. And it says, and forsaken the Lord Yahweh, B'Shem Yoshai. Right? And then it says, verse 11, for whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, and their labor is unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children are wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore, blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which hath not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. The point was actually in verse 11 there, in verse 10 and 11. So that was it on that. Any brothers have any lasting statements?
Yeah, that word misery goes back, or miserable goes back to the word miser, and one of the things of it here, it says full of misery, causing wretchedness, and then it says mentally full of misery. So when you go into Esau's laws about mental illness, it's only for him. When he gets his hands on you, he's a mental case. But when you do it, you're just a miserable, wretched person. Anyway, you know the deal on that. But that's the point on that. That just jumped, and it means it's covetous. Also, it goes back to the word covetous. Okay.
Con.
That's the point. That's the point on the word miserable.
All right. So with that, we're gonna close. We're gonna close, Con, by giving all praise and honor.
He's an
glory.
unhappy creature. Sorry, I just.
Con.
There.
By giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem, Yahushua, B'Shem, Kakadash. All right, double honor to the apostles, elders of great millstone who rule well and has taught this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect and to sincere 1/3 that may listen. All right, above the ball. Low will to the next lesson. We're going to say shalom. And low will is edifying to the hopeful elect.